Hello, people. This is Vishal from Edureka, and I welcome you all to this session on what is Power BI. But before we get into the nitty-gritties of Power BI, let's quickly take a look at today's agenda first. Well, I would be starting things off with why Power BI, and then I would talk about what it is exactly. Once we've understood that, then I would walk you through the other details, as in who are the people who use Power BI, what are its different components, and what are its building blocks. Finally, we would finish things off with the demo part. So let's not waste any time and get started with the first topic of discussion, that is why Power BI. To be honest, there are quite a few reasons why Power BI is so popular, but these are the few major ones. Now, what it does is it gives you great capabilities when you talk about machine learning and advanced analytics. It is a very good data visualization tool, and that forms a core part when you talk about data science, machine learning, advanced analytics. And this is where Power BI comes in very handy. Apart from that, what it does is it lets you write R scripts, which is a very popular tool when you talk about analytics. So yes, if you're interested in analytics and machine learning, this thing that is Power BI will definitely make your job easy. Then what it does is it gives you great mobility and Cortana integration. Now, when you talk about Cortana integration, it lets you integrate with a highly intelligent device called as Cortana, which is something similar to Siri, and it lets you interact with your applications better. Mobility, well, this software or this tool is available for all kinds of platforms. You can use it on your mobile phones, you can use it or access it through, or you can access data through cloud and use it in your Power BI. You can do many other things. It readily integrates with a lot of applications, and that is what makes it highly portable and mobile. Now, these are the other features. Power BI is very affordable when you talk about upfront costs. It is almost 10 times affordable than the other tools that are there in the market, and which is a great margin. Tools which cost you around $1,000, Power BI lets you do almost everything that those tools let you do at somewhere around $100. And that is a huge margin when you talk about cost optimization. APIs for integration. It has application protocol interfaces to integrate with so many things, as in you can connect to your cloud services like Azure and all those things, and you can access data from there. You can connect to a SQL service, get data from there. Cortana integration, which I just talked about. That is, in all, it gives you great capabilities when you talk about integration. Customization, again, I've talked about its mobility and its integration features. Yes, what it does is it lets you connect with all these things, plus it lets you customize your applications in such a way that you can meet your business needs better, user friendly. To place it in simple words, if you start learning Power BI in the morning, you should be good enough to understand how it works by evening. That is how easy and user friendly it is to use. Yes, data visualization is a wide field, and when you talk about understanding data, well, that can take a lot of time. But Power BI definitely makes your job of understanding this data better in a very less amount of time. And it is equally usable for both technical and non-technical people. So these are the reasons why I feel Power BI is so important. Another reason is the job trends. Now, as you can see in this chart, the job trends have rose a lot in recent times. To be honest, Power BI is fairly new in the market, but still, it competes with most of the best tools in the market, and it is neck to neck with all the tools. And that is the reason there have been a lot of job opportunities in recent times, and the reason why people opt for Power BI these days. So, yes, it is one of the other reasons why people opt for Power BI. Having said that, now this was about why Power BI is so important. Let us move further and try to understand what it is exactly. Well, Power BI is a great data visualization tool if you ask me. But to say that it's a great data visualization tool kind of degrades its value. It gives you a lot more than just data visualization. It is a self-service business intelligence tool which is available on cloud as well, and it has great capabilities. It lets you aggregate your data, it lets you analyze your data, visualize it, and share it, which is very important if you're dealing with data. If you have great sharing capabilities, yes, your tool is worth using. So who are the people who use Power BI? Well, it is for almost everyone. Developers will find something interesting to do with it because it lets you integrate with so many technologies, and there's so much to learn and explore. Subject matter experts, people who have great in-depth knowledge about subjects or businesses can also use this tool without having to get into too much technicalities. For people like data scientists, analysts who need data and who need greater insights into data can just have all those insights by just mere clicks. So yes, within minutes or within seconds, your data can be a lot more meaningful to you than what it was in the past. So Power BI, in short, it's used by almost every class of working employees and can be used to great effect and give you great results. So what are the Power BI components and what do they contribute to this great tool? Well, this is the first set of Power BI components. We have Power Query, we have Power Pivot, Power View, Power Map. Now, Power Query is something like ETL. It lets you get the data inside your Power BI. It lets you transform it, edit it, and play with it. Then you have something called as your Power Pivot and Power View, which kind of help you in the analytics part. Now, Power Pivot is something that helps you with in-house or in-memory analytics, whereas Power BI lets you do all these things, and Power View, on the other hand, is something that kind of lets you visualize your data, analyze it, and generate a lot of patterns out of it. Then you have something called as Power Map, which is very interesting. Now, businesses can be spread across different places, and what Power BI does is it lets you use Power Map, and using Power Map, you can understand or study your data better geographically as well. So this is where Power Map kicks in. Then we have something called as Power BI service, which lets you put your data once it has been modified and updated and published online so that others can access it and use it for their better effect. Then you have something called as Power BI Q&A, which is very interesting thing. It uses something called as natural language processing, and using which if you just enter a query on your dashboard or on your reports, you would get results in minutes, as in not minutes, even seconds. You put in a query in a layman language and it would still give you results. But make sure the query is related to your data and it has those key terms in it. And definitely the values would surface on your screen just by a mere click. That's it. Then you have data management gateways and catalogs. Now, what data management gateway does is it lets you use components, and using these Power BI components, you can actually go ahead and refresh your data time to time so that you can handle your real-time data in much better way. Then you have something called as data catalog, which keeps records of all the data that you have, and it also lets you use or reuse your queries which are there with you. So these are the components that make Power BI great or a wonderful tool to use. So now let us go ahead and take a look at a few of the building blocks of Power BI. Now, if you ask me, the terms which I'm going to talk about, these are not the only building blocks of Power BI. Now, I've already mentioned that Power BI is a wide thing or a huge application or a service provider. So calling only these things the building block won't justify Power BI completely. But yes, these points do form core part of Power BI. First is your visualization. Now, it is nothing but a graphical representation which helps your data to be visualized in a graphical manner. And there are various ways in which you can just go ahead and visualize data. Once we get into the demo, we'll understand all these building blocks better. We have data sets. Now, visualization without data is impossible. And what Power BI does is it lets you integrate with various data sources, making data integration very, very easy. It lets you filter data, and it also has a lot of connectors or inbuilt connectors rather, which kind of let you connect to data from different sources. Then you have reports. Now, collection of various visualizations at one place is called as a report. And Power BI lets you have these reports which can be edited and modified. Now imagine you have these reports and you do not want others to make changes to it. What do? You publish it in the form of dashboards, and you pick in important points which are important to you and place only those points on your dashboard so that people can have access to it. So this is what dashboard does. It lets you visualize your data or your reports, multiple reports in one single slate. Then you have something called as tiles. Now individual visualization when published to your or when put on your reports or published to your dashboards are called as tiles. This is a single rectangular clip which kind of holds in information. Now these points are something that you would understand better once we get into the demo part. So what we shall do now is, having talked about all these points and what Power BI is and what the building blocks are, let's quickly move further and get into the demo part and explore Power BI a little more. So yes, I've gone ahead and quickly switched into my Power BI desktop. Now your Power BI desktop is something that lets you use Power BI platform or visualize data. So if you want to use Power BI or want to have access to it, you need to have this offline application which lets you perform all these visualizations and operations on your data. Once you've used this data or once you've modified this data or created all your visualizations and reports, you can just go ahead and publish it to your Power BI service, which is an online service and which is payable. I just mentioned that Power BI charges you somewhere around $100 a year. Well, that charges for your Power BI service. Now that is something which is not free, but you can use that for free for first 2 months of your subscription. So yes, you can always go ahead and have that free subscription and create your dashboards and use the other facilities which Power BI has to offer to you. How does one do that? You just have to go to Microsoft Power BI's website and log in. But you need to have an employee account to create an account there, because it is not available for people, or you cannot sign in with your Gmail or Yahoo accounts. You have to have an employee account, an organization account basically. That is the only restriction. Once you have it, you log into their website. Free download of Power BI Desktop is available, and the subscription, which is free for first 2 months, is also available to you. So I would recommend that you all go to Power BI's website and also download Power BI Desktop. In case if you need any more help in downloading it, you can check out the other videos in this series, and you would understand that, or you would be given a complete walkthrough in those videos as in how to download Power BI Desktop. So that is not a discussion for today. So let us move further and start exploring Power BI using Power BI Desktop. So this is the interface canvas where you can create all the visualizations. You'd see that in a matter of time. You have these panes where the first one gives you your canvas pane. Second one gives you the place where you can go ahead and see your data once you've imported any. And this one gives you the relationship between the two, or the different tables that are there in your data. So let us go ahead and import a data set so that we can talk about the other features that are there again. Now, these are something which kind of gives you your visualization basically, as in all the visualizations that are there, and the fields will kind of give you the fields that are there in your data set. So once we do upload or import a data set, you would see how the changes are reflected here. So let's go ahead and do that. So how do we do that first? We have this option here called as get data. You can click on it and you can import all sorts of files that are there. As I've told you, it's highly compatible with different file formats. These are the different sources from which you can import data. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and import an Excel file. Let me see if I have any. There are quite a few actually. So let's pick some. Say we pick the Superstore one. It would give you an option whether you want to connect to all the tables that are there in your data set. I'm just going to go ahead and say yes to all of those. And I say load. The data would get loaded into my system then. It depends on the internet. At times it takes a long while if the data set is huge, and people use huge data sets normally. So yep, as you can see, the fields have incorporated these tables, and you can go ahead and use these tables if you want to. Now, as you can see, you can also see your data here, all that has been imported. You can make changes to it, edit it, you can perform various operations on it. This pane kind of gives you the relationship between the tables that are there, but I haven't defined any for now. So yeah, you do not see any relations for now. So let us just go ahead and create a couple of visualizations to understand this data better. Now I have so many visualizations available at my disposal. So let's go ahead and pick one of these. Say for example, I want to use this thing, a map kind of a representation. Now, if you have to perform map operations, you have your field maps, you have your this thing, ArcGIS maps, but it is kind of restricted only to US region. So that is where its use is kind of restricts, and we are not going to use it for now. We would stick to your field maps, and we'll also use something called as your regular map. So say I just click on this thing and the template gets created here. All I have to do is I have to select the fields which I want to visualize. Say for example, I want to view my profits. So I can just click on it and that would get reflected in my so-called field map. And I want to say view it state-wise. So I can also pick this thing up and drag and drop here. And it shows me the data. Now, this template is kind of editable basically. You can just go ahead, you can resize it, you can move it if you want to somewhere on the screen. So to meet your needs, you can adjust or handle these paints or these tiles rather. So we have this data now which is highly interactive, and it kind of gives me information as in what are the profits state-wise in United States. Now what I can also do is I can just go ahead and view this data in a different manner. Say for example, I want to view it say in the map view, normal map view. I pick it up, I move it somewhere here, and I then just go ahead and put in the same things as in my profit and my state. And this thing will give you your data state wise. Now This is not one of the best representations of the data which I wanted to view. So, yep, now you can see it represents the data a little better. You have to understand one thing. The data you visualize may not always give you the best ideas. So it is very important you change and chop the visualizations. You understand which part and which vertical to visualize, which components to pick in, which fields to pick in to visualize your data better, and what kind of operations to perform on those. And that totally depends on your business and how you use Power BI basically. So now you can see that the same data using maps, I can visualize it in two different ways. I have different ways of viewing it. I can focus on particular parts. I can do so many things and just at mere clicks. Now, this is one type of data which I'm dealing with. What if I wanted something like a line chart? So I would just click on it and a template would be created. And say if I wanted to compare my profits and sales here. So I have that information available, but I want it, say, based on my maybe order dates. There you go. The visualization changes. Now, based on the year, my profits and sales are available to me. As you can see, 2015, these are the sales. I can also drill down it a little more. Say, for example, I want it quarter wise. Now, this is the data based on a yearly quarter, right? So, yep, you can drill it down a little more further by months, and there you have it. You have it per day as well. So the ability to drill it down as much as you want can be great, and you can visualize data for even smaller instances as well. Now what if I just wanted a different view of it? This is not giving me a great picture. Maybe if I view it like this, it would give me a different picture. So yep, there are different ways to visualize your data, and again, your data is highly interactive here as well. Everything kind of corresponds to every value that you have here. So this was one way to visualize the data. What if I want sector-wise or field-wise data which represents some other values? So I can just go ahead and use maybe a pie chart, and I just make it a little more appealing. What I do is I just go ahead and pick, say, I want to view maybe profit, and I want to view it, say, segment-wise. There you have it, and maybe even state-wise. So it would give me all the things. Now this is something which is not, yeah, so this is something which is not very conclusive and not giving me a lot of information. Maybe I want to filter it down a little. Well, I can do that. I select this chart or this, yeah, pie chart, and I scroll down to my filters and I say segment it, maybe not segment wise, but state wise. Say I want the information for California. There you go. You have the information for California. Maybe Alabama. Sorry, Arizona. You have it for Arizona then. Now I want it for, say, maybe Connecticut. There you go. If you choose multiple fields, you'll have data accordingly as well. So there's so many things which you can do here. You can also go ahead and make it visible or more palatable to your eyes. And how does one do that? You can just go ahead and use different colors maybe. Say, for example, you go to this field and you say use maybe this color. It will do that for you. So yes, there's so many features and capabilities which Power BI gives you. Now, this is where you just go ahead and run your visual scripts. You can connect to internet. These are the other charts which are available. Say, for example, you have your tree map here. And again, I want something like maybe sales, and I want it state-wise. There you have it. It gives you data for different states. Now I want everything to react to this or give me value for Ohio, and all my charts would give me answers accordingly. So yes, again, it is very important you pick right parameters when you're kind of using this data or viewing this data, and you'll have great results if you do that. Let us just remove this and try something else. Now say for example, I have this workbook here with me which kind of gives me tabular data, and I want to have, say, city as one field, and I also want my sales accordingly. Now the sales are too many values to deal with. I don't want to deal it like this. I just want to go ahead and have sections for it or bins for it. Can I do that? Definitely I can. I go to this field, I kind of say new group, and a different window would appear. I would say group type, I want it bin, and I want to categorize it by my number of bins, which are 44, and I don't want that. I want it say 3. And then I say, okay. There you go. That field gets added here. I can just pick it up and drag and drop it here. And I have my bin-wise distribution as well. So I can just go ahead and remove one of these fields and the data would look different. There you go. So yeah, there's so many things which you can do. It's completely limited to your imagination. How do you want to use it? Having said that, now this is how you can visualize data in a number of ways. You can just go ahead and you can put it on a Power BI services so that others can also view it. So how do you do that? Just go here and you say save first, and you save it as a report. Maybe I'm very bad with naming conventions, so please ignore this. Say report 21 maybe. Now you say save. There you go, and it has gotten saved. Now I can go ahead and just publish it. So I come back here and I say publish. It would ask me where. I would just go ahead and say publish it to my workspace. It gives you two options, whether to just go ahead and take quick insights or open it in your Power BI services. I would say yes, just go ahead and open my report there. I have a couple of accounts here. So let's log into one of those. For some reason, my internet has been very slow today, and that can be irritating at times. There you have it. My data has been put on my Power BI services here, and I can use it and access it again. Now it is interactive here too. You can see it. I want others to view it as well. So these individual tiles that are there on my so-called report, I can just go ahead and pin it to some kind of a dashboard. So to do that, you can click on this pin visual. You can do it on your existing dashboard, or you can just go ahead and create a new one, say sample 21 again, and I pin it there. Do you want to do it? Yes, of course I do. Can I resize it? Definitely I can. So this is one thing. I can just go ahead and pin the other visualizations as well. Say for example, I want to pin this. And go ahead and I say pin it again where? To sample 21. And there you have it. Your sample 21 has been pinned, or your profit by state has been pinned here. So I was talking about Power BI Q&A. Well, I can type here the query and it gives me results in second. Say for example, I want again. Now we have a report which has profits. So let's search for profits. Say profits for Alabama. There you go. It gives you a value. Last time I checked, Washington had some profit somewhere around 340 in this range. Say Washington. Say 33402 or something like that. There you see. So you just click in or given a query in layman language and you'll have outputs for it. And all you have to do is you have to make sure that you use proper keywords. Having said that, you can just go ahead and do other things with this data as well. Now, this is kind of giving me a web view. I can just go ahead and view it from or in a phone view as well. And you can see it gives me this view. So this is something how it would look on your cell phone if you kind of use Power BI desktop on your cell phone or your Power BI services on your desktop. So, but note one thing, once you publish your data on your dashboard, you cannot make changes to it. It's just for the visual purpose. It is something where you can have multiple different visualizations from different reports onto a single slate. So yeah, this is how your dashboard looks, and this is what your Power BI is all about. Trust me, there are a lot of things which you can do with Power BI, but you're free to explore that. I would suggest that you go ahead and use Power BI and try out as many things as you can, and you'll definitely love this tool. As far as this session goes, this is where we stop today, and I hope you all had something new to learn and interesting to learn out of this session. So I'll take an adieu from all of you. Bye bye. Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!